Alright, just when you thought I was safe, I'm back. Have some chicken noodle soup, you bitch. Anyway, after just fucking insulting my audience, it's a good start. Um, I'm here to talk about a concept related to modding called skill inflation. Uh, but first, let's just talk about the team behind this YouTube channel, and I think they should really get big gratitude and shout outs for everything they do. We have a team of diverse people who aren't stock images, all named full name, and they bring so much to the table. I am just in awe of how real and not stock images these people are. Full name, full name, and full name. They were at my wedding. They were at my divorce. They were at brunch. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. But who can forget the other people under me? I make sure to pay these people in that if they make videos for me and edit them, I might let them outside periodically. I'm just so inspired by my team. I am so fortunate and lucky and hashtag blessed. So here's your professor for tonight. I'm the president of Antarctic Operations and not giving a fuck. I am the big burrito boss man himself, George HW WTF LOL Bush. More like George Cush. Ah, fuck, how did I not think of that earlier? Anyway, let's get into the meat of this video. So there's two terms that I'm going to really talk about here, both kind of related to each other. So first off, we have skill inflation. This is where your skill level of kind of your whole pool of players, your average skill level that is, increases. This can come from a variety of sources, but two of the biggest ones are being an esport as well as speedrunning. More on that a little later. Next, we also have what's called a skill plateau, somewhat the opposite of skill inflation. This is where your average skill level of pros and casuals just slow down. Maybe, and there's kind of a variety of reasons for that we'll dig into in a little bit. Oh, shit. We gotta full screen this. God damn it. Alright, well, they don't call me Tommy Two Takes. They call me Tommy 2 Seconds. Oh. Fuck. Anyways, so let's talk about competitive games and skill inflation. Generally speaking, skill inflation is the point of competitive games, as well as speedrunning. And kind of how that works is both runners and or competitive people at the game will research the ins and outs, look at tech, look at more complicated skills, anything to give them kind of an edge. Think of it as like sort of an arms race. Russia figures out, how to fucking get a dog in space, and then America figures out how to get a hamburger in space, right? So it's essentially escalating skill levels driven by the spirit of competition. And these tend to be the games that receive the most skill inflation. It's the point of them, essentially. Next, let's talk about causes of skill inflation. First off is just trying to get some hoes, respectfully. Next, as I kind of talked about on the last slide, active competition, right? People are kind of pushing each other further and further. Next, you have new glitch and tech discoveries, like clipping through the floor, or figuring out wave dashing, or making Mario World in the fucking Flappy Bird or whatever. Shit's crazy. Next, generally the more people's moms you bang, the better. And I say that knowing that I'm going to need to skip town. I don't want to get into it, but there's a situation, and DMs went to the wrong people, and mistakes were made. And listen, I don't want to have the sex talk with you now, but just know I'm really proud of you, unless you're Carolyn. Anyways, um, so practice tools and tools for practice. Essentially, this like practice makes perfect. Everybody's heard that, but tools for practice are designed to help build different tech skills for the game. In particular, think 20XX for Smash Brothers Melee. Um, that teaches you hitboxes, tech skills, frame data, um, helps you visualize it, lets you slow down and see, you know, the precise parts of a particular move. Um, and the idea is that these will quickly grow, like people become more competitive more quickly. The other thing I'll have to note is I will say sacrilegious shit. You really don't want me saying grace at your family dinner. I come with a warning is I am going to say something offensive. You signed up for this. And then I proceed to say something offensive and people get mad, right? It's like fucking lay a well cooked steak in front of a dog. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, and this hooks into kind of my ongoing series with mods. That's one video long. Mods. Mods cause skill inflation. So let's dig into that a little more. Oh. So mod makers and mod players tend to be your diehard fans. To make a mod, you yourself, the mod creator, needs to play the game over and over and over and over again. And mod players tend to have a higher skill level. Again, they're your diehard people who will be sinking a bajillion hours into a game. And this brings me to kind of like a third point and something to be aware of if you ever do any mods. Some mods are designed to be difficult, and that's okay. But too much difficulty is a little bit of a beginner trap for both mod development and game development. You want a good difficulty curve. You want to ease players into things and have things be. You want to hit that stride of like tough but fair. And your mileage may vary. Next, let's talk a little bit about the causes of a skill plateau. First up, we just have the game dying out, and that's people losing interest in the game, or the game stops being accessible. Usually, games die well before that. But essentially, no one's playing anymore, or it's dwindled to a small amount of people that they're not. They all play each other. They all know each other's tricks. There's kind of not that arms race anymore. Next, we have the limits of the game are found. And this is somewhat rare, but the idea is that you have squeezed every bit of skill or time or whatever from the game. There's literally nothing you can do more optimally. And this lends itself maybe a little more to speed runs than competitive games, but this absolutely can happen in a competitive game. Next, this is more of a personal one. I just, shit happens. Okay. We're gonna delete this. I don't really the allegations. Okay, all right. So let's go back up. Shit. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. Causes of the skill plateau. Next, and this is something I mentioned a little earlier. Either the game is no longer accessible, or a sequel kind of replaces the game. Smash 4 got replaced by Ultimate pretty much immediately. Again, no shade at Smash 4. It was a good game, but sequel came along and kind of did everything a little better. Lastly, Touching Grass. This is just your players are fucking adults and they got adult shit to do. And I don't mean sex. Well, I do mean sex. I always mean sex. But it doesn't have to be. You know, you're kind of cute, whatever. Fucking go away. I hate you. So that kind of concludes the content I had for this video. Um, comment if you have any examples of either skill inflation or skill plateau. I think this is sort of like a interesting meta thing about certain games, and why certain games become competitive versus not, or why certain mods kind of strike a really good chord with the community, stuff like that. So, in conclusion, let me kind of give you an inspirational quote. I think deep down, we all know giving me specifically internet access is a fucking mistake. I'm sorry, but what the hell? You knew this was going to happen. You knew I was going to be a dumbass. Next, in the event of my untimely death, I have bots that will activate and make sure to call all the necessary people hoes. You know who you are, you hoes. And one last thing I just want to leave you with, one takeaway, is that facts don't care about your feelings, but CEO Captain Moon Unit Sex Party does. Okay, that's it. Subscribe if you want more dumb bullshit. I'll do another one of these. I am actually traveling. I promise you I'm not skipping town for something, but anyways, all right, bye.